Hello, everyone. Today, we'll go over the main assets of the commodity market, take a look at the current situation, and highlight the key points that I hope will help you make your trading decisions. And today, we'll start with silver. According to the daily chart since the last review, the levels and trends remain relevant. At the moment, the price is moving within a new downward trend that formed a couple of weeks ago after my last review and is now trying to break through the lower level. The situation with volumes is unclear to me. I can't determine which side is dominant, so I can only state what most likely the majority sees. The price is moving within a downward trend, so we should expect its further movement to stay within the boundaries of this trend. Now, let's turn to the hourly chart. In the last review, I outlined two possible scenarios, either a breakout upward and continued price growth, or a decline in the asset's price down to the lower highlighted support. The scenario with the decline played out, and lately, selling has only been increasing. Since the price is at a significant level, its further movement depends on the reaction of one of the sides. But speaking about the current situation, a move toward the lower boundary of the downward channel is more likely. I'll refrain from making any chart-based predictions, but I'll repeat this for those who are currently holding positions. For those in long positions, let me remind you that in a downtrend, the only positive outcome that can happen is if this move below the level turns out to be a fake out, after which the price returns above and the current downtrend stalls into a sideways range. And for those in short positions, the situation here is a bit simpler. The price is in a downtrend, and a continued move toward its lower boundary is more likely. Therefore, the position can be considered justified. Mixed oil. On the daily chart, after the last review, selling pressure began, and the price broke out of the marked upward channel and fell below the nearest support at $100. Selling continues to dominate, so I consider movement within the sideways range to be the more likely scenario. Next, let's look at the hourly chart. The situation here is similar. Selling pressure is very strong, so I think a drop in the asset's price to the next support level is more likely. And buying is only possible after the price rises above the $100 level. I'll mark my expectations on the chart and repeat that I consider a move of the asset toward the lower support to be the more likely outcome. Next, gold. On the daily chart, we continue to move within the downtrend. The price has passed not only the $4,500 level, but also the lower marked support. If the price consolidates below this level, I will expect a further decline in the asset's price. On the hourly chart, since the last review, the price still hasn't managed to break above the marked level, so the scenario for a decline played out, and moreover, it continues to fall and has almost reached the key round level of $4,000. Sales are dominate in terms of volume, which also confirms the price's movement toward the lower boundary of the global downtrend channel. I'll refrain from making any chart-based predictions since anything can happen at the $4,000 level, and we'll assess the efforts of both sides in the next review. For now, everything's pointing downward. I think it's clear from the current situation that there's no reason to talk about buying at this point. Next up is Palladium and its daily chart. The price continues to move in a downtrend. The nearest support level didn't hold, so I consider the most likely scenario to be a continued move toward the lower boundary of the channel, with the global target for the asset's decline being the $1,000 level. Next, let's turn to the hourly time frame. Here as well, I'll note the dominance of selling and the price's tendency toward the lower boundary of the channel. But in my opinion, there still needs to be a correction and a test of the previous effort, after which I will expect the asset's price to continue declining. Buying is only possible after the price returns above the marked level. I'll mark my expectations on the chart. So that's roughly how I expect things to play out. And if you think differently, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future reviews. I hope this was really helpful. And remember, we can make assumptions, but the market decides.